Hello, you guys. Hello, hello, hello. And welcome to the Become Your Magic Power Hour. I was so comfortable clocking into me, hiring me, that guess what? I decided to stay in the bed. I threw some stuff on so that I'm looking a little bit decent, right? Threw on my clothes. Can't go wrong with the bling, honey. You see my little outfit today? Not little. I got to stop using the word little. How easily we say little. But you see, fill my cup. This is available on the I Choose Me Bling Boutique company.site. But hello, you guys. How are you guys doing? Welcome to the Become Your Magic Power Hour, where we take this time to power up on whatever it is that's going on in life, whatever it is that we need, whatever we feel that we need. And today we are going to be talking about my favorite subject nowadays, which is the I Hire Myself Challenge. We're going to talk about what it means to hire yourself. We're going to talk about why it's necessary to hire yourself. We're going to talk about the condition that you see yourself in when you hire yourself. Oh my goodness. I know Melissa will be able to tell you a lot about how she's been feeling. I can tell you that it has been such a joy to like put me first, right? And it's not that I wasn't doing it before. I wasn't doing it intentionally. And so everything that I've accumulated, everything that I have done has been happening just unconsciously, let's say. Like, it's like, oh, I'm going to get to that. And I put on my vision board, I want to start an I Choose Me movement. And it takes 4 years for that to happen. Why did it take 4 years for that to happen? Because I didn't schedule my dream in. Because I didn't schedule the things that I asked for in. Because I didn't follow through on the yes. And so this is teaching us to follow through on the yes. Today is the 5th, and I want to give a shout out to Nakia Grisson and Emerald Dean. It is their birthday today. Happy birthday to you two. I just want you to know that we need to have a Zoom party, y'all. Like, Corona is in, but guess what? It don't stop the shine. Kia, you need to come up here. We need to send out a link and have a nice Zoom party, get some potions, bring our meals to the party. Do you realize how much fun we can have nowadays without it costing us? We can still enjoy each other's conversation. We can still eat exactly how we want. Sometimes you go to the party and you find yourself complaining like, oh my God, I don't like the food. Well, if you get to pick the food every time, how much better is that party, right? And so we eliminate, when we see life as half full instead of half empty, we really eliminate those ideas that we don't get to choose our reality, that we can't enjoy whatever moment that we're in, that we can't make the best out of everything. And so in being intentional, meaning conscious of making the best out of everything, we just live in the moment. We don't get comfortable complaining. We find ways to reinvent ourselves. We found ways to reinvent that emotion, that message. Hello, Tiffany. How you doing? How you doing? So we got to be super intentional, right? Because that's what it's all about. That is exactly what life is all about. It's about loving ourselves. It's about seeing ourselves. It is about celebrating the us. It's about hiring ourselves. I mean in any area in your life. It is not just for if you need financial breakthrough. It's not just for if you need to grow your business, because everybody may be comfortable in that area of their life. It's saying that I'm going to take inventory on the life that I'm living and realize what areas do I want to create a better momentum in. So if in the relationship part of it, I don't have a good momentum, then that's what I'm going to focus on for 40 hours a week. What I realized in the I Hire Myself Challenge is, and God made me sit down, and I'm telling you, after this 30 days, for those who have been going on, let me tell you something, the treat that you're getting, because I'm creating the course, and it is just phenomenal. I am so excited about this new level of us, because I can guarantee you that your life will not be the same after you hire yourself. I mean, you literally start to see changes daily. Every single day. I mean, whether it's just your emotional state, whether it's just the fullness you feel, that proud, you ever had a good day at work and you went down, you was riding home feeling like proud, like, yes, they are lucky to have me. Yes, I did that. Imagine if that emotion was 100%, I would say, directed toward you in your dream. That once you left, you wasn't leaving somebody else's dream life, right? You wasn't leaving somebody else's dream relationship. You wasn't leaving somebody else's dream family. You were actually implementing those strategies and structures and ideas into your own reality. And so you no longer start to look at Oprah Winfrey, and you no longer start to look at Walmart and these different establishments and say, wow, look how lucky they are. No, the only thing that they did different was use their time wisely. When God says he has no respect of persons, it's because he gives us each 24 hours in a day. We got to dissect these scriptures that we read, and we speak it and we say it, but we don't even understand the depth, because what he said is that I am that I am. He said that you are the church and you should give the church 10%. And so when I sat down and realized that God gave us 720 hours a month, and that if you work for anybody's job, it was really working for the dream that they had for themselves, right? And so when they hire you in a position, the average person on a full-time job works 40 hours a week in order to create a momentum in that particular area of whatever that dream is, right? And so you're not doing, while you have different tasks, you only got one job. You got me? While you may have different tasks, you really only have one job. And your job is to create and keep that momentum going. So now imagine in the area of your life that you want to hire yourself for, that you create a task for, right? And so if I want to hire myself to get more joy in my life because I take life too serious, I've established what I wanted to establish, and now I'm at a point in my life where I just want to enjoy myself. I just want to laugh more. I've gotten the business out. I've been very strategic, but I just lack that piece, that laughter, that important piece. What do? What I do is I implement time that is structured for that area of my life that I want to improve. I don't expect it to happen, but I get an action for my attraction, right? Because faith without works is dead. And so if I'm faithful over the dream that I have for myself, then I'm going to begin to work it out. I'm going to begin to work for me. And so in working for me, that means that I am actually sitting down and realizing what area of my life I want to increase. What area of my life do I want to change? What area of my life do I want to implement a momentum that I have been given out so easily? When I sat down and realized that we got 720 hours in a month, and that when we're working full-time jobs, which at some point most everybody has done, right? Even if you're an entrepreneur now, that meant 140 hours a week is 160 hours in the month. Now, God gives you 720 hours, and 160 hours of that we give, to our jobs to get a return. So I'm saying that if you would decide to take 40 hours a week, and the way I did it is because we're hiring ourselves, and since we're with ourselves 24 hours a day, time works different than actually a job. And so I broke down that would mean that I would have to commit to myself in whatever part of my life I want to increase by 6 hours a day. 6 hours a day. So then I sat down and I realized that God gives us 24 hours every day. So that means if I broke down 6, 12, 18, 24, he gives us 4 quarters in the day. 4 quarters in a day. And so to take 25% of the day and refill the thing that is going to take you through every other role and title is very important. And so 1/4 of the 24 hours that he gives you a day in which you are with yourself 24/7. Whoever's not with themselves 24/7, raise your hand so that we can set up a session, because we need to find out who you with, if not with you, everywhere you go. But so now you have 4 quarters in a day. 1 quarter of it is the 6 hours that I'm saying you should give yourself daily. And guess what you can do? Now you can fill up the thing that's going to refill every other part. So you're not waking up exhausted. You're not waking up tired. You're not waking up defeated, because you have filled up the vehicle that is actually traveling to all these roles and titles that you play in your life. Now, when I broke that down, that meant that if I can commit to 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon, and 2 hours in the evening, that would make 6 hours a day, which will actually give you 2 hours of overtime that you got to play with, because 7 days a week at 6 hours is 42. And we're talking about a 40-hour week of full-time working on ourselves in an area of our life that matters. So now I'm saying that in the morning, and so like I said, depending on the area that you're hiring yourself for, you need to sacrifice something in order to put you in it, so that you can start to create this trust relationship with yourself, so that you can start trusting who you are, so that you can start implementing those ideas that you have into action, because you follow through with the yes. So if I'm saying I want to spend more time in laughter, then maybe in the morning, first of all, it's very important that you get that meditation time. And meditation doesn't always mean that you are sitting quiet with things. Some people cannot do that. Meditation just means something that soothes your soul. So maybe it is music that soothes your soul, that makes you go into that place of feeling free, making you forget about everything that you're dealing with. So you can say in the morning for an hour when I'm driving to work. What do I do? For me to meditate, I like to listen to inspirational speakers, preachers most of the time.
Like who?
One of the people that I found in that time, look, I'm getting interviewed over here. One of the people that I found in my time was, I stumbled upon Dr. Miles Monroe. Oh my God. One of the best. He's no longer here, but I'm telling you, I stumbled upon him. YouTube University, honey. There is nothing that you can't find. I'm creating jewelry and stuff, for my mission, for my line, all on YouTube. For my brand, right? Because I'm intentional, right? I'm clocking into me. I'm giving you guys the tools that allow me to have a husband, 5 kids, and still manifest my assignment, still work in my dreams, still have all of that, right? Abundantly living. Investing in the return that will come, right? Investing into me, that 10%. Saying that I'm worth it, saying that I'm with myself 24 hours a day. How am I going to God saying, oh, this ain't working and this ain't working? And he said, well, I told you yes, but you don't trust my yes. I told you yes, but you don't trust my yes. In order to trust my yes, you have to create the momentum in your own life that you're doing in everybody else's. And so if you're the person that said, oh my God, I show up for everybody else, I'm always there for everybody else, but I have nobody to fill my cup, that means you have to take your life back. That means you have to be intentional with the time you've been given. When you start to wonder, which is, a lot of church folk will say, well, that heathen over there, how come they're blessed? I be praying to God all the time. I'm always surrendering. I want to know why he ain't coming for me. Because you're waiting on God. And God is waiting on you, because what the heathen knew was who he was. And that meant that he had to get in action. Because everybody who has anything that they are living in is something that they created. It was a choice that was made that they follow through on. He had an idea, and he didn't just sit with the idea, or she didn't just sit with the idea. She got to moving. She got in action. She allowed herself to walk. He allowed himself to walk into it. And so being in relationship with God is more reason why we as Christians should be more wealthy, because we understand that faith without works is dead. We understand that God has given us so many hours in a day. We understand that we are not our roles and titles. We are on assignment. And if we understand all of that, what is holding us back? How are we not leaders? How are we not lenders and not borrowers? How are we not above? How are we not living in our best life? How are we not the evidence of what God can do? Because we have gotten comfortable complaining, not implementing our time, not recognizing that God has given us precious time. And that is the key. How you're spending the time with yourself, how you're tapping into the you. What is the momentum you're creating in your life? How are you being intentional about your outcomes? And so we can sacrifice our time for an immediate return that we think we can see. But can you imagine the return that you'll get when you become trustworthy to yourself? When you discover the I am that makes you great, when you figure out what things fill me up so that life is not knocking me over because my soul is anchored, because I'm so full on the I am that I am. And so hiring yourself, like I said, is really implementing whatever task. So for me personally, I am implementing my businesses. I have so many businesses, so I'm trying to basically get my finances to match up with my gift, right? Because I have products. So now it's like you have to market yourself now. So that's my role, to market my programs, to spend time creating a curriculum, to spend time being live, right? And so I have to go live in my boutique. I got to go live in my precious collections with jewelry. It doesn't matter. But I had to really set time aside, especially being someone who stayed at home most of my life with the kids. So I have the worst schedule. I'm not that person. I'm most free-spirited. Like, okay, so we hungry. We're going to make something to eat. So it's time to sit down. We're going to learn this. I never did a schedule. And so I'm learning to actually not rob myself of time by writing it down. That's what God said, write the vision and make it plain. I have that vision board that made 8 years old in August because I wrote the vision and made it plain. There are 16 things on that board. 13 things are fulfilled. I put done on each thing, and I'm still waiting for 3. It's 8 years in the making because patience is what I learned. But I also learned that the reason why it's taking that long is because how I've been wasting my time. That it shouldn't have took me 4 years from the day that I wrote the board to implement the I Choose Me. 4 years later did I start going live in 2016. Why? Because I wasn't controlling my time. That I had as many hours as the person that I was admiring. That God had chosen me too. That I was worth knowing. When I found out what was so amazing about myself, but that took time. To solve for X, to figure out your value, it takes time. To figure out what makes you the solution, it takes time. Time that we are not spending with ourselves, and so we are living idle lives. And so, yeah, we are doing, but we're not being. Because to be is I am. It's to say, wow, when I sit down at the end of the day, I can see where I serve me in order to serve you. Because God said we had to treat our neighbors as we treated ourselves. And we're giving to our neighbors what we haven't given to ourselves. So we're robbing ourselves of the gift that is us, being present. And so every day I'm living in every other person's dream. The role of a mom, the role of a wife, the role of a friend, sister, daughter, niece. Though that is not my assignment. The role of figuring out what makes me the solution. The role of figuring out how I turn that pain into power. The role of accepting the process is in being intentional with the time. Realizing that my dream becomes a manifestation when I follow through with the yes. For those of you who don't know that, who missed that conversation about the yes, when I say God gave me a good one, because he made me think about once we ask for something and the answer is yes, what do we do next? What do we do after the yes happens? And I had to sit there and I said, okay, so okay, I went back to like, okay, when I asked my grandma, I always go to my grandma the bananas. She loved bananas. So I remember when my grandma, she would always be doing what she was doing anytime we went to ask her for a banana. And wherever she was that we interrupted her, we would go to her and we say, Grandma, first of all, don't forget to say please. So you go to Grandma, please, can I have a banana? And she says, yes. Now, what God made me freeze is what happened after the yes. This is the part I want us to get. When Grandma said, yes, I can have the banana, she did not stop what she was doing and go get the banana. She gave me permission to have what I asked for. You ever remember when our grandparents and the older generation would say, you only want it because you saw it? First of all, I didn't ask for something that I didn't see ever. Even if it was because of commercial, that was marketing, right? Even if a commercial came on, I asked for something that I saw. So the seed had to be planted. And so I had to see the banana to ask for the banana. So you had to see who God called you to be to go to him and say, God, can I have that? Right? And so once I went to Grandma to ask for what I saw, because I studied, I walked around, I paid attention. That's what we got to do in our life. We got to study. We got to walk around. We got to pay attention so that we know what we're going to ask God for. And then when he says yes, remember that is only permission for. So your next step is to turn around and go and get the banana that you saw and go get it from where you got it for and enjoy it. Another example, if anybody is married, we all know that the moment that we got proposed to and we said yes, it didn't make us married. It made us engaged. It made us engaged into creating the next steps to get to the wedding date, to get to the marriage. So when they proposed and you said yes, you became engaged in the next steps that it took in order to follow through on the yes. So you didn't get up from your knee and was a married man or woman. You didn't get up, dry your tears and was a married person. You had to then sit down, create a budget. You had to then decide how many people you can invite, who was invited. You had to agree on what you wanted to eat, how the cake would look, the location it would be in. And then you had to get everybody there at the same time to sit there and witness your yes. And then every day after that, you had to show up in the yes. When they were getting on your nerves, when you were arguing, when you were fighting, and even when you were loving, you were showing up for the yes. You were showing up for the growth. You were showing up for what you asked for. And so what we got to understand is that life and hiring yourself is actually committing to the yes. Committing to the you that you say you want to be. Realizing that you already been pre-qualified for whatever it is that you want. And that your only job, your only responsibility, your only goal is to surrender to you doing the work. You implementing the structure to get it to happen. If you cannot create a plan by yourself, you can reach out to me and you can have your personal one-on-one coaching where I can help you develop a plan in order for you to commit to whatever that yes is, because sometimes we don't see it like that. That's what I do. But we got to get serious about our dreams and making them reality. We got to get serious, especially in this time, about voting for us. Because God voted for you when he gave you breath today. He voted that today would be the day that you would surrender to the yes. That you would recognize that in order for me to really follow through with it, I had to be willing to ask. I had to be willing to show up. I had to be willing to figure out what it is I need in order to go to the next level of the dream. That I'm not waiting on God, but God is waiting on me. He's waiting on me to go after what I say I wanted by what? Taking the time that he's given me. Taking this time that he's given me. Giving myself 10% of it. I know 40 hours a week is at 160 is a little bit more than 720 less. It's not 10% exactly, but that's the idea. The idea is that the minute you begin to serve you and fill up you, every other thing becomes effortlessly. You will live effortlessly in life. Because what does something that's full do? It pours over, it spills over. And so we need to start filling up ourselves in order to have the overflow for somebody else. And when I realized that my vehicle, I fill up my car, hiring yourself is just getting that refill. It's just plugging into the source. It's just tapping into that God piece, that perfected piece, that thing that's gonna master you. You got listen. He wasn't gonna say nothing, but
you made me say it.
Come on now.
What'd you just say? Everybody need a refill.
Everybody need a refill.
See what's going on. What's happening to a lot of people.
Hey, boo.
You got a lot of ride or dies out there. You know, you got people that'll help everybody and help everybody that's in that circle. And what happens to those people is while they're doing all this running around, helping everybody, the gas tank is getting low. Now you got some people that, I got some people that won't let their gas tank get below half a tank before they put more gas in there, right? You got some people that'll ride to the light. Come on, I ride to the light. Come on.
How many people put in the comment if you ride to the light?
You ride to the light. Come on. Then you might put $10 in there, $20. You ain't gonna fill it up. I don't fill up. I just put what I need in there and keep going. Now, what that does is that's not good for your car, man. That runs your car down. Okay, while you riding around on E, it really messes up your car riding around on E. So spirit imitates life. So the same way I do in life, I'm doing in my spirit. I do all this riding around, helping everybody, and then make sure I'm straight first. I gotta be full first. I gotta cut. Sometimes you gotta. I can't help you today. You gotta go get a refill. Go get you some gas, man. Fill up. Start filling up before you start getting people rides. Start filling up. That's all I gotta say. Sorry.
And that's key. That is key. That in order for us to be who we need to be, we have to be full. We have to get our cup filled, right? We gotta be intentional about the fill up. We gotta be intentional about what it requires for us to continue to go on, for us to live in our dreams, for us to be the who that we want to be. And so you just imagine, what does it mean to hire yourself? What area of your life would you like to actually show up more in, create a better momentum in? Be more of yourself. Find that joy. And so the best way to say, if you're looking out at somebody and if you admire somebody for something, then that may be a piece or a place to start, because admiration is inspiration. Right? Admiration is just inspiration. It just means that a part of you is inspired by a part of them and you want to grow it in you. And so the only thing you got to do is concentrate on that area, because no matter what areas that we grow in, we all are working on concentrating on whatever area that is. And so the places that we concentrate on the most are definitely going to be the places that we get the most out of. Those are going to be the places that we learn the most from. But if we're not being intentional with how we're showing up, right? Being conscious of what we're doing, because if we're doing the same thing, then that's insanity. Doing the same thing, expecting different results. And so we got to change how we are seeing it. We got to change how we are showing up. We got to be intentional about, okay, I want this, and so I have to do exactly this. So that's creating ideas. And then that's why the group, I hire myself as a group on Facebook. I have it on my page where you can get the link. I'm going to add the link to this later on today or when it ends, so that you have the ability. I wonder if I actually got the link still in my phone. Let me see. You have the ability to basically, no, I don't think it's on here. I'll get it later. Yeah, you have the ability to basically do your work, get the support, come in the group. It's a private group. You get to come in and I mean, Melissa is like the star student in there. She's always posting about what it is to hire herself. Some people are picking their start date. So you can start whenever you want, because what's the first question somebody asks you when they ask you, you want the job? You're either going to say, I want to start yesterday. That means I want to get in action right now. Or I want to clear up some loose ends before I start this full-time position. But I want you to realize that The only way to change your tomorrow is by showing up today. I don't want you to look 30 days from now and say, you know what, I should have got started. That procrastination is what interrupts our progress. Us trying to put off till tomorrow what we can do today. Because even if you don't do a whole 6 hours today, it is about you. It's about the intention, because God is going to multiply your intention. And we all know that 0 times 0 is what? 0. 0 times 7 is what? 0. 0 times any number will always get you 0. And so I want you to be intentional about one part of your life, 2 parts of your life, 3 parts of your life, because what God is going to do is multiply that. And 1 times any number is that number. And so if you would show up in one area of your life, then God will multiply that. If you could show up in 2 areas in life, then he'll multiply that. And then it'll continue to overflow. And so I say 30-day challenge, because after 30 days, you create a habit, right? You start just creating a pattern of things, let's say. And so we got to interrupt our patterns. We got to interrupt the way we've been doing stuff, because it is interrupting our progress. It is interrupting the promise that is attached to your name. It is interrupting the I am that you are. We got to be more interested in stuff like this. Stuff that's inspiring us to renew our minds. Stuff that is actually giving us step-by-step ways for us to be in action for ourselves. We don't even take advantage of the things that we should be taking advantage of. We invest in the wrong areas of our life when we should be investing in the way we think, so that we can change the way we show up, so that we can be who we say we want to be, and stop living fraudulent lives. We got to create lifestyles instead of moments. You got one post and that's your whole moment. Why can't that be your everyday? Because you haven't clocked into you. It is time for tough love. Because how long have we been doing it and getting the same results? Complaining. Comfortable complaining because we haven't hired ourselves. Comfortable looking at everybody else blossom instead of actually applying ourselves to blossom. To doing the work. To taking simple steps and actually implementing it. It's simply saying 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon, 2 hours in the evening, I'm going to designate to the thing that I want to create a momentum in my life. If it's my finances, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to find something to join. If I have products, I'm going to sell my products. I'm going to figure out, what do I want to make a day? And then I'm going to break it down by what I have. Then I'm going to show up an hour, 2 hours a day to sell that product. Listen, the internet is like God. It's omnipresent. You could be anywhere in the world. You have access to so much. And it doesn't matter how much access you have if you don't know how to use it. If you continue to be afraid to actually trust yourself, to work for yourself, afraid to actually live in the dream that you have for yourself. Create that life. Become the creator in your own reality by implementing different ideas, by looking it up. Most people got a phone. You could Google anything and everything. You think it, you could Google it. Like, we're in the middle of a pandemic and we have access to actually sit down and decide, how do I want my life to look? How much control do I want over my own life? How much joy do I want to have in my house? How many people don't have joy in their house? You want to bring joy back. You got to be intentional about that. You got to stop complaining in that house, because then you're leaving the energy of complaining in the house. Maybe put on some upbeat music. Sage it. Take 15 minutes and sage. That's clocking into you and what you want. Open up the window so as you're saging, you're letting all that energy out, and don't bring it back in. Stop complaining in the house because you're festering and complaining. Start writing solutions. Start putting I am's on your mirror. So when you go in the morning and there's a label that says I am great. For a long time on my mirror, the kids have put I am enough. I choose me with my lipstick. I left it there. Because that's simple stuff you can do to remind yourself, to be intentional about the energy that you're in. If you're isolated at home, make the home rise up and meet you. Spend time taking care of that home. Putting your touches in it. Spend time with the family. Decide that once at nighttime, we'll watch a movie together. That's 2 hours of fulfilling that memory, that time that you won't get back. You know, find a way to find joy in this season. If you're locked up with each other, you should be having a game night. You should be rising the quality of your life. Because as I said, this season is teaching us quality over quantity. Quality over quantity. And so there's no one person more qualified with the level of quantity that you have to be who you were created to be. The only way that we can activate that, the only way that we can live in it, the only way that we can show up in it is by how we spend our time, how committed we are to the us that we are wanting to be, how committed we are to where it is that we see ourselves going, how committed we are to the dream that we have for ourselves, how committed we are to not pretending. How many people want to live a real full, abundant life without the pretending? Posting love over here, but know that you're miserable over there. Posting pictures of amazing this and amazing that, and you're over there suffering in silence. How many people are tired of lying to themselves? But you know how you can change that? You can get an action for every area of your life. You can commit to the life that you want to have. You can literally say, well, guess what? I run my life. If I'm not happy, I can change it. I can choose to hire myself to fix this area of my life. When somebody hires you, it's because they need help in fixing that part of the business, creating momentum in that part of the business, trusting that part of the business to go on without them concentrating on it. But they had to sit down and decide what tasks needed to be done in this area. What do I need the person to show up to do in this area? How do I need them to, what time do I need them to come in for this area? Right? The simple things that you can do in your own life. And so that's what it's all about. That's it. It's about hiring yourself. It's about taking this free 99 information. It's about when it comes down to it, honey. Because God is really showing up with me hiring myself, because I've never done it before, and I am trying to share something. I don't want everybody to sit back and think that life is going to happen. This is the Become Your Magic Power Hour. I can just as well sit here and record myself and play it back to myself. But instead, this is a time and a season for us to get more than bull when we turn on the internet. For us to not only sit still to watch drama and wonder why our life is so dramatic. For us to share uplifting and empowerment so that we all can succeed. So that we can fight over the bill instead of breaking it up. So that we can want to invite each other over because everybody is carrying energy of joy. So ain't nobody hating on each other. We can support one another. But that happens when we do our inside work. When we vote for us. When we show up for us. When we hire ourselves in the areas of our lives that we want change. When we vote to be the change. That's an everyday type of experience. It is not a once in a month time thing. It is the fact that God gives me breath every day. And I want you today to multiply 720 hours times 12 times the amount of years you've been here, past 18. You got that? I want you to multiply, and I'm talking to you 18-year-olds because you don't get no excuse. You now wanted to choose, you wanted to run your life. Now show us what it means to run your life. I was talking to somebody not too long ago, and I was explaining to them, sometimes we get stuck in the pain of our past, how our parents parented us, or what they did or did not do. And what I recognized was that if you thought they did such a bad job, then your life should be the evidence of how easy it was. Anytime past 18, when you were able to make the choices that you felt they should have made, could have made, now you have the power to choose in your own life. If your life is not resembling the thing that you thought was so easy, then you need to go back and apologize for misunderstanding. But I assure you, in that journey, you will find that even if you do it the right way, in the ways that you wanted it done, that you would still find grace for what you had to learn, what you had to go through to get to that place. And so we got to be willing to now that we have the power to choose our destiny, to take it seriously. To really take it seriously. To stop blaming everything on yesterday. And be willing to show up today. To stop complaining. Stop being comfortable complaining and decide, if I'm complaining, then I'm not finding a solution. Then I'm dwelling in the problem. And if you were meant to be the solution, then understand that what you've been through is why the problem came your way. And so we spend too much time worried about who didn't do, or where they didn't come, or what they didn't show up, that we are poisoning our own realities. And so we got to take our reality back by choosing every day to be intentional with the time that we've been given, to hire ourselves in the areas of our life, to sacrifice that time. Because we understand that the investment and the return that we're going to get is going to be far greater than whatever job could ever pay you, whatever role can ever give you, that refill of being a parent, that refill of being a friend, for people to salute you. Thank you for being such a great wife. Thank you for being such a great husband. Thank you for being such a great mom, a great dad, a great friend, a great sister, a great auntie. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What about you thanking you? How many of us are longing to hear the thank you to ourselves in order to treat our neighbors right? Because it's an inside job. And God says, treat your neighbors as you have treated yourself. And so if I'm working for you, surely I should be working for me. Because the thing I do for you has got to be extra. Because I have to fill my cup in order to have something to pour into you. And so a lot of us are walking and working on empty, not having enough for ourselves. So we are depleted at the side of the road, feeling like nobody sees me. I do for everybody and nobody does for me. Yeah, well, you showed them how to not do for you. You were the perfect example of that. You can never expect from somebody what you're not willing to give yourself. You're willing to show up for them, but are you willing to show up for you? You're willing to sacrifice for them, but are you willing to sacrifice for you? How many times have we sacrificed and went somewhere that we really didn't want to go because we didn't want to disappoint somebody? And it wasn't that I don't love you. It was just that I just didn't feel like leaving the house today. But me not feeling up to leaving the house today, I wasn't going to choose me. I chose you. And so I sacrificed how I felt to show up for you. Well, that is the same type of love we got to start bestowing upon ourselves. I got to sacrifice getting up, even though I'm tired, to make sure that I implement something in that hour that God gave me in the area that I said I want him to show up, that area that I asked for. I'm praying to God, but what happens after you pray? You get up And you get about God's business because you've now touched and agreed. So the next step is to what? Is to walk it out, to get in action, to be consciously thinking about ways to become the solution to the problem. And so it can be difficult, it can be super hard, but you're very necessary. And so I want you to really think about hiring yourself. I want you to really think about showing up for you. I want you to really think about becoming that very special thing in your own life. It's going to be a sacrifice. But I promise you, after 30 days of sacrifice and only 160 hours to yourself, you are going to feel prouder. You are damn sure going to see some results. If you're showing up, I can promise you you're going to see results. And imagine if every month you tackled a different area in your life, what your life would look like 365 days later. The blueprint. So it's about us spending 365 days of loving ourselves to life, becoming the gift that we were always meant to be. What does it mean to be a gift? It means to be present. And so I'm gifted in my presence. Am I right? And so my gift is that I'm present every day. I'm conscious as I'm going through the transformation that is me. Every day I'm renewing my mind. Because I'm intentional about what I'm grounded in, what I'm planted in, what I'm connected to, what I'm listening to, what I'm receiving, what I'm open to, what I'm voting for. My life is the evidence of how I show up for me. And so I want to sit down. I want to say, I did myself good. I did God did. I did my soul print good. By being what? Infectious and intentional about the desires of my heart. And so you become the evidence. You know, somebody's watching you. Somebody's always watching you. Somebody is always watching you, whether they tell you or not, whether they acknowledge it or not. Somebody's always watching you because God made you to be an example. That was the point. And the more we are able to remove the shame and get in our lane, the more glory he gets, right? Until I tell my story, God will never get the glory. How can I tell you what he brought me through if I don't tell you what I went through, right? If I don't remove the shame and get in my lane. If I don't show up and hire myself so I can improve those areas that matter. And so I know that in order for me to be who I want to be, I got to work on me. I got to be intentional with me. That's what it's all about. Being intentional with you. Being intentional with your dreams. Being intentional with your desires. Being intentional with your assignment. Being intentional with your visions. You have the power to create whatever you want. I mean, I'm not lying. I am not telling you any lies. Trust me when I tell you. I wrote this book in 2007 when they were just doing snail mail. A book of poetry. You cannot get this on Amazon. I only have a limited few of these. It is over 7 pages this book go to. 75 pages of my original prophetic poetry. In a time where I couldn't find a publisher. That I was my own publisher. So I went online. Back when I was 27. And decided that I had all this poetry that I had been writing. This is not even 10% of the poetry that I have. But I decided to get an action for my attraction. I get to talk about it because I walked through it. And I share it with so many people. I realized that it is your time to talk about what it took for you to do what you have to do. That it wasn't an overnight process. That this was even slower than nowadays writing a book now. That I had to set it out. That I had to wait for it to come back. That I had to do it, write everything out. That I had to print it. That I had to send it back over to them and wait for it. Then I get a second and a third draft till I say, okay, everything is right when they send it back. I literally had to spend the time. And at this time, I only had 2 kids and 1 on the way. And I still found time to clock into me. I knew God gave me the gift of prophetic expression. I knew what my gift was. At some point, I was like, am I like forgetting about the who that I am? But no, he had to get me working in other areas of my life. And so I want you to know that the reason why I say I hire myself and I'm creating this thing to share with you is because I actually sat down and realized what the blueprint was. You got to go through it in order to tell about it, to give you instructions on how to make your life a reality. Okay? All while struggling. So money is not a factor. Pre-sale. I had to pre-sale because I don't have overhead to buy 1,000 books. I had to pre-sale. Back when I just had a CD, I had to pre-sale. Why? Because I did what I had to do to make my voice matter. That I didn't use hashtag when I say no more excuses. I mean that. Oh, I've been through hell and back. Oh, I've been molested. Oh, no excuse. No excuse. No excuse. Everybody had a price of admission. No excuse. The excuse is that you went through all of that and didn't do nothing with it. The excuse that you sat down on the victory that you got and you just got it away on a shelf. That pain was in vain and instead it was meant for others' gain. What did you do with your pain? Where did you leave it at? Where did you surrender it at? Why aren't you doing something with that? Why aren't you clocking into your ideas, your dreams, your visions? If you don't like your job, create a business or get a new one. If you don't like the way your relationship is, work on it. Start a date night. Be intentional. Have dinner with candlelight. Start asking each other questions again. Get intimate. Create a plan to rev back up that old model. Right? So it's about us being intentional. That's the gift that we give ourselves, is the intention. The intention that we share. The intention that we possess. How we hire ourselves in our own lives. Oh my goodness, we got to be so intentional. And so what we're going to do is, because we got some time, we are going to do the card. Matter of fact, let me see if my song is playing before I promise y'all the song. If not, I might just sing it a cappella, y'all. Sing it a cappella, but I'm going to see if it's going to come out. At this time, if you have any comments, you have any questions, matter of fact, let me get our I am out so that we can go on to what our I am for the day is. Like, share, tag a friend. Soon and very soon, y'all are not going to have all this free information. I hope you guys are enjoying it, because I'm about, with me hiring myself, is creating less time, and so creating more value in my time, right? Because I chose to invest in me so that I can get a return later, and the return is starting to form. So right now, for the 4 years that you guys have been getting all this free stuff, I hope you've been applying it. I hope you've been investing it, because now you're going to have to start showing up in it. You're going to have to start becoming the evidence. You're going to have to start actually working in your I am. And so right now, God, we are dealing with I hired myself. And I want you to take this time to basically touch a card, any card, a card that represents what it means to show up for ourselves, what it means for you to fill our cup, what it means for us to be in alignment for our assignment. And so right now, God, what is the I am that you want us to know on this day? The I am that God wants you to know on today is that I am brilliant. What does it mean to be brilliant? I want you to know that if you go to PreciousPaulin.com and get this game, it's called the ABCs of How Special I Am, because it was created for the kids. It was a combination to go with the How Special I Am children's book. How special am I? Well, I one of a kind. I created the game as another incentive to change the mindset of our kids in order for them to know just how special they are. Since the suicide rate was so high, I wanted to create new ways of thinking, because behavior health is what we have to deal with. The way we think about ourselves is the way we show up. And I've said for so long, we spend so much time feeding a hungry child's stomach, but have we fed a hungry child's soul? And the soul of them needs to know the I am that makes them great. But in the process of being intentional about making an I am game for our children, it became one of the centerpieces of my women's group, the refill station. Even when I did events for the kids, the I am, these cards. And so this game, well, I call it like a spirit-filled icebreaker in the room, where we all were able to grab a card to say I am. It just does something, because every month when we had a refill station, no matter how many women were in the room, and we randomly picked cards and we had to stand up in the I am that God whispered through these cards, it was always right on time for what they needed to hear, right? Because the I am is what makes it so amazing. Can y'all hear him snoring? Did I just serenade him to sleep? I am brilliant. Come on, Ken. I am brilliant. And so that's what it's all about. It's about saying, I am the I am that I want to be. And so in order for me to hire myself, I got to understand that I am the brilliant worker that God sent into this world to leave my impact. And so when I begin to live in my brilliance, when I begin to know just how amazing I am, when I begin to know what it is to walk in the I am of brilliance, I begin to hire myself every day. Vote for myself every day. Choose me every day. Realize that out of 4 quarters in a day, that I will give a quarter of that day to refill the vehicle that has taken me into every role and title. That 6 hours a day is not asking too much. That God gives us 720 hours in a month. What is it to spend 160 of those hours serving your flesh, serving your assignment, serving your dream, serving your brilliance? And so brilliant is exceptionally clever or talented, to be exact, because every game, it comes with instructions as well as the definitions of all words that are on every card. And so this is the beauty in the game. Here you got, nope, that's the anthem. So as I was saying, you go to PreciousPaulin.com, you can get this game. But I want you to remember that it's all about how we show up for ourselves. I want you to remember that it's all about how you see yourself. And so as you're sitting here, yes, on camera, say, I hear him. Yes, you hear him over there? You hear him over there? And then serenaded him to sleep. But I am brilliant is today's word. It is so important. I want you to fill your cup by recognizing that it's a relay race and somebody is relying on you. And God is so ready for you to be the brilliant piece, that God piece that he sent you to be. I was supposed to be seeing if my song is going to play. Let's see. Fingers crossed, you guys, because it is nothing like an anthem as we talk about I hire myself. And so that's how we're going to close today. Like I said, I'm hoping I can get a little bit of serenading in the back. If not, honey, it's just going to be me and my voice alone. Now, I can say that God has not gifted me in that, but there's no excuses for me not to sing my song. So I'm going to sing it anyway if I don't get no background. I choose me song. Search. Give me a second. It seems like it's giving me a little problem. Maybe I'll just go until I'm going into the wrong thing. Let me try this one. Thank you for tuning in. Please say I am brilliant in the comments if you're just getting in and you haven't been able to do that. I'm looking for the I Choose Me song because I don't want to just sing it by myself, although I will. Okay. Well, anywho, it looks like I'm not going to find it. So it looks like we just going to have to sing along. As I said, if you guys, this is your first time tuning in and you would like the anthem, please email me. No, actually message me. Or email me at ichoosememovement@gmail.com. If you just want to go in Messenger or in the comments, let me know in the comments. I would like a copy of the song and I will send it to you in Messenger. Or if you put your email in a comment, I will email you the song so the next time you can sing along. It is the I Choose Me, No More Excuses anthem. And so here we go because I can't find it. So we're going to have to just do a little quick little beat. And those of you who know it, you can just clap along. But have you ever, well, I'm off. Hold on. Do. Have you ever found out just where you could be? Ever took the time to discover what lies inside thee? All the treasures you were born with, the world needs to see. It will give you the courage to dare to just be. I choose me. No more excuses. I choose me. I'm enough. I choose me. More than worthy. I choose me. I own my stuff. I choose 2 times. No more excuses. I choose me. I'm enough. I'm enough. I'm so used to going with the words. No more excuses. I choose me. I own my stuff. Have you ever loved yourself? Come on. More than you can stand. Ever took the time to walk on uncharted land because you knew what you offered was one of a kind. If you never bring your gift, come on, then what would we find? I choose me. No more excuses. I choose me. I'm enough. I choose me. More than worthy. I choose me. I own my stuff. Have you ever dreamed that life? I want you to hear the words. Would only bring joy, only to discover that. Come on. The pain brings you more of those questions answered to what makes me great when I learn to digest the good and bad on my plate. I choose me. No more excuses. I choose me. I'm enough. I choose me. More than worthy. I choose me. I own my stuff. The secret is knowing that through all these things, after pain comes triumph. When you stay in your lane, you realize the lessons were blessings on the journey to you because your purpose was found in the things you went through. I choose me. Come on now. No more excuses. I choose me. I'm enough. I choose me. More than worthy. I choose me. I own my stuff. The gift is your story and is the shape of your mold. When you reach your purpose, a message of inspiration is told. Love grows everything in all that you do. In order to give it out, it must first be in you. Your dreams will be fulfilled when you choose to walk in your light. And the love that's inside will be the fuel for your flight. I choose me, no more excuses. I choose me, I'm enough. I choose me, more than worthy. I choose me. I own my stuff. And that's what the I Choose Me anthem is. It is about owning your stuff. It is about hiring yourself. It is about turning your pain into power. It is about showing up. It is about voting for you daily. It is about the message of inspiration unfolds. Come on. It is about you seeing you. It is about you becoming the I am. Today's I am is I am brilliant. I thank you once again for clocking into you, for becoming a part of the next level of what God needs in the world, more light. Impact is the light that we serve. That is the solution to somebody's problem. They are in the dark and they need the light. You are the light, and you become the light when you are able to tap in to yourself, into that gift, into that the thing that makes you one of a kind. And so there's no excuses. We control our destiny. We control the life we are living. We are the creators. God has said yes. You are brilliant enough to follow through on his yes. I suggest you hire yourself because it is a relay race and somebody is relying on you in order to turn their heartbeat into a soul beat so that they can leave a soul print. Because the fingerprint, it tells us what we got wrong in the world, but the soul print, it tells us what we got right. And what God got right is you. And so you've been listening to the queen of soul stirring inspiration, the prophetic poet herself, soul coach, etc., etc., etc. But most importantly, what I am is here to share my light. And as you and I both know, you can never turn on anybody else's light, but you can provide enough light for them to find their switch. So stay lit in this world so somebody can find their way out of the darkness. I love you guys. Yes, I am brilliant. I choose me. I own my stuff. It is about that. It is a message of inspiration. Come on now. Come on now. I am. I am. I am. That's what we have to say. What we am, not what we ain't. What we am. You were singing with me? Thank you. Thank you. PreciousFallen.com. I love you guys. I'll see you guys. I'm really going to see you guys later. I'm really committed to later. So I had to write that down on the board that I don't care how busy I'm doing my time because, honey, I've been working over because I get focused. And then I'll be like, oh, well, I ain't going to go live because I already done served 6 hours. I'm good. See, now I'm doing that. I got to stop doing that. And so I'm definitely am going to be live tonight in the boutique because I have to, because I've committed to myself right here with you, and most importantly on my thing. And because once I say to me what I'm going to do, I ain't got no choice but to do it. Love you guys. See you guys later if you guys are up. They're knocking at my door already. I'm supposed to be off.